Hey folk, welcome back. I am so beyond excited to be able to say today, finally, that we're here to take a look at some Moonspell Magic dolls from Monster High. Ever since these got announced and were shown at Toy Fair earlier this year, I have just been like very impatiently twiddling my thumbs, more like chomping at the bit for these dolls. I know like there has been some mixed opinions. I talked about it a little bit when I did like my initial thoughts video on these dolls. I know they're not for everyone, but you know what? They are for me, and I'm just so beyond excited to finally have the opportunity to actually unbox some of these dolls for you. So I do have three characters today. We have Claire de Luna, Ray Lumina, and then Willow Thorn, my top three dolls from the line. Initially, I would have ranked it as Claire de Luna, Willow Thorn, and then Ray Lumina out of these three. Now, though, I kind of think Willow might be taking it, but who knows how I'll feel once they're out of the box. You know what I'm saying? Like, in general, these are just, to my mind, three absolutely amazing dolls. So we'll do a final ranking at the end there. Really quick, before we do dive into more of Moonspell Magic here, I do just want to address one little thing. I think inherently, just because they are releases that were going to be happening at a similar time anyway, there would have been comparisons between Moonspell Magic and the Mirror Me from MGA. But I think those comparisons have really increased due to the fact that both lines technically launched not just around the same time, but quite literally on the same day. And inherently, yeah, it is unfavorable towards Moonspell Magic if you're looking at quality, because those dolls are 30 US dollars. These are, I believe, 27 US dollars. It was like 26 or 27.99, so 27 to 28 US dollars. And the Mirror Me dolls certainly have a lot more detail and a lot more fabrics and all of that jazz. And so I think a lot of the conversation around Moonspell has sort of become, wow, it's not as good as Mirror Me. And I do just want to say, I'm acknowledging that. From a quality standpoint, Mirror Me is hands down better than these dolls are. From an aesthetic standpoint, that is going to depend on who you are and what you're drawn to. Maybe you like these because they have like a character design that you're more into, or even just like a character that you're more interested in. You know, maybe you think that Ray Lumina the Sun Witch is more fascinating than Akiko Kiriyama, who's cozy from Mirror Me, you know? So that's all like personal, and that's completely fine. I just wanted to like acknowledge that I am aware that when you compare these dolls to other things that are on the market slash are going to be on the market very soon, and you're looking at what you get quality wise for the price, they do not measure up. And I do understand that. However, this is going to be the last time I'm talking about that this video, because for me, while I can acknowledge that, and I do acknowledge that quite frequently, y'all know I complain about price damn near every video on this channel and like what you're getting for said price and all of that jazz. Like, I think that it is really important, but I also like these dolls despite the fact that they are lower quality. Obviously, I bought three of them. You know, I like the designs, I like where they're going, I like the theming and everything. And I just wanted to like strike a balance between acknowledging, yeah, Mattel is like not giving us the most for what we're paying, but I just don't want that to take over the whole video because I don't want this to become like a sad unboxing. Basically, I don't want to like pretend it's not happening. I'm not going to lie to y'all or like kiss ass or anything like that to these companies. But for today's video, from now on, I just want to talk about Moonspell. I'm not going to talk about Mirror Me. I'm not going to like make any comparisons. I just want to be excited about these dolls because I've been excited about these dolls and I still am despite all that. And so yeah, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Sorry, that was like a long little tangent, but I just felt like it was sort of necessary to say. With that out of the way though, you have been staring at the front of these boxes. I love the art. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Like the art style, I just think is absolutely gorgeous. I'm definitely going to have to save some of it. Like, I don't save packaging from all of my boxes, but every once in a while there's a box where I'm just like, damn, that is so pretty. And the art is absolutely doing that for me. We do have a special edition, like they are the same across the board, except for the fact that on Claire de Luna's box, we do have her name written in Braille here because she is a doll that is vision impaired, which I think is super cool to like have that inclusivity going. I do think it kind of would have been nice if it had been on all of the boxes where it's just like I don't know. I guess I'm not trying to be like, it's not good enough. Like, I'm glad that it's there. I'm just making suggestions for next steps, perhaps. Like, obviously, having Braille on the box for the doll that is blind makes sense and is, to me, extremely important. But I think it would be cool as a line if it was like, hey, like, we're including this representation and it's important to us. We want to have Braille on all the boxes so that, like, someone who's blind might be able to go in the store and be like, oh, this is Ray Lumina. I like her, because, like, it's not as though everyone who's vision impaired is only going to want to buy the vision impaired doll. Again, I'm not trying to complain. I do think it's really amazing that the Braille is on there. I don't know. I'm just talking. But to go ahead and look at the back of the box, so it does have the name of the character and then some information about them. So for Claire de Luna, she sees the future by reading the stars. Her magic essentials are a crystal ball and star guidebook, and her spellbinding skill is go-to friend for excellent advice. So that's pretty cute that you get to have like a little baby blurb about them. And we do have more art, like more full body art on the back. Maybe I'll save that piece because then you can see the whole outfit for all of them. Oh, I just love it. Let's go ahead really quickly and read about the other two characters. I'm trying not to knock anything over. But Ray Lumina is a sun witch who channels the sun to radiate light and warmth. Her magic essentials are a sunbeam candle and sunshine spellbook, and her spellbinding skill is lighting up every room, which it's kind of cheesy, but it's kind of cute. I can't even lie to you. And then lastly, we have Willow Thorn here, who is a nature witch. She blooms with plant magic and talks with trees. Her magic essentials are her herb jar and earth spells book, and her spellbinding skill is brewing healing potions in her garden. And then she is also hearing impaired, so there's extra representation there, which we love. To turn this box around, I almost forgot I wanted to discuss the other two characters that I didn't get. I want to say this is Layla Stone. I know her name's Layla. I'm iffy about the last name, but this is Layla. And then we have Karina Song here. She is a love witch and then she is a crystal witch. And I didn't get either of them right off the bat. I decided to wait just a little bit and just start off with these three. I am sort of regretting it now. I think Karina, I had been just like, I really do like her. And I definitely wanted to have her, but I was like, I'm okay just having the three. And now I'm like, damn, Karina's so pretty. And then Layla too. Okay, Layla was one that initially, when we first like saw these dolls and everything, I was like, I want her, but I want to do so much to her to like kind of make her my own and like make her what I want her to be that I'm gonna wait for a sale for her. And literally just right before filming this, I watched Draculaja's video on reviewing her, and now I want her desperately. Now I'm like, she's so cute. What is wrong with me? So those two will probably be joining the collection sooner than I anticipated. But yeah, for today, we just have these three. So I believe that's everything that needs to be said about them while they are still in box. So now, much like a rabid dog, I'm going to go unbox them and then we'll reconvene. I don't know why that was funny to me. Then we will reconvene to look at everything that they come with and discuss everything and just have a good time. So I will see y'all momentarily. Right. So all of the girly pops have been unboxed, but unfortunately, I do need to start this portion of the video off, not by rescinding my former statement, but by clarifying it. I'm still not going to be really comparing these to Mirror Me just because I don't know. Like I said, I'm still excited for these, even now that I've unboxed them, even now that I have uncovered some troubles. Like I still am excited for these, and I don't want to diminish that for myself. Like I don't want to make it any harder to be excited for these, if that makes sense. So that like that's why I'm not comparing to an outside brand. That being said, there are still some things that are distinctly lacking in quality, and I'm not going to be shy about telling you about that. So I just wanted to clarify, we're going to be honest, and if something is like kind of ass, I'm going to tell you that it's kind of ass. I just don't want the focal point of today's video to be Mirror Me. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start off with Willow here. So I am going to go ahead and turn Claire, maybe balancing Claire and Ray around. You can kind of go a little bit further back there. Beautiful. Now we can go ahead and start off with Willow's accessories, which I guess I need to turn her around for as well, for the sake of the focus on this video. So to go ahead and start, she does have, of course, her witch hat, which is this beautiful, like, faintly iridescent green color. On the top here, as you can see, we've got a bunch of filigree that has sort of plant motifs, as well as a like triple moon going on. I think all of the hats have this. Let me double check Ray's really quick. Okay, no. So Ray's does not have this, but Luna's, Claire de Luna. There's so many names bouncing around in my head right now. Claire de Luna's hat does have the same situation where there's like a sculpted band around it and then this moon. However, the underside of the hat has these little like indented pieces to try to like help it grip onto the doll's head, as well as little holes where it was like hooked into the box, right? This feels like it should be the center of the hat. Am I not correct in saying that like the one moon is where the center of the hat should be? Or like as far as how it displays on the doll's head, right? Like it should be going on like that. So why is the hole in the front? Like that seems like something that should be so easy to think about. And when you're manufacturing and designing a product, it feels like one of the first things that should be thought about is like, okay, if there's going to have to be these structural support elements and like a hole here so that it can be packaged, don't put that in the front of the hat. Like what? What? But then also the way that it's like printed here, this feels like this should be the front, which makes more sense with like these indentations because it just feels, I don't know, it feels like the triple moon makes more sense to be in front, but then the like that's on the side. Am I crazy or is that a little weird? Like on my display, the hat is going to be tilted more upright anyway, so you can see the underside. So ultimately speaking, for me, it doesn't matter, but I do have a lot of questions. But I do think the printing on the underside is really, really pretty. It's like this bluish color, and we, again, have like the triple moon and then the plants along the side there, and that's just like printed on. But I think that part looks quite nice. Then when it comes to the accessories, so I guess we'll start off with this. We have what I would call a little potion bottle. I feel like I heard some people calling it a perfume bottle, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't grasp why, but I'm just gonna call it a potion bottle because regardless of what it's intended to be, that's what it is in my brain, and that's what it'll be used for on my display, and so that's what I'm calling it. They do all have the same like sculpt, just in different colors. I do think the sculpt is really pretty with the moon stopper and the moon detailing on like the body of the bottle, and Willow's is in this beautiful iridescent green color. I hope that I've been using the correct names so far. So many names. Then we have her potion book. So it does say Intro Green Magic, Intro 2. No, just intro. Intro Green Magic. Sorry, the glare. But yeah, that's just like printed on the front. There's a little thumb holder for her along the spine of the book, and then the back has just some sculpted detailing. It does not open or anything like that, but I do think it's a very nice little accessory. They do also all have potion books, but they are all different colors. There's also one unique sculpt, at least amongst three that I have. I obviously can't speak for Layla or Karina. So those are also pretty similar, but they all have like unique factors that I do enjoy. Her bag is this beautiful moth. I almost said butterfly, and then I was like, hold on. We've got the feathery antenna situations here. Is antenna technically the correct word? I could be wrong on that. But I know this is a moth. It's all molded in this purple plastic. It is unpainted, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice at least to see like the printing on one side, like the book, you know? Like a little screen printing, I feel like could have been nice. But the sculpting is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really gorgeous. Doesn't open or anything, but really, really gorgeous. Then, so she has, for her like special witch accessory, they all have one that's more thematic to them and a little bit more detailed. This gorgeous, gorgeous green bottle, which is like functioning as a terrarium. We have a little plant in there and like some rocks. I'm really glad to see that we got a couple different colors of plastic on the inside to like show the difference between the different elements that are in there. It just really adds something. I love this. I think this is very cute. I need like a better way to do doll shelves, like doll scale shelves, so that I can have like all of their stuff with them. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And then the last accessory to talk about, technically it's two, but all of the dolls do come with a cauldron, and there is a gimmick with this. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I thought about it, I really truly did, and I'm just not doing it. Sorry. It's a gimmick that we've seen before with the Dracula like potion room playset, where you pour water in here and then it causes this portion to lift up. And they do all have unique sculpts for this part. So there is this like stand in the middle because there was a necklace on there. And then for Willow, we have a moon in the back that has like some flower detailing. It's really hard to show you because I have to hold this up. If I let go, it just falls, which I think is a huge flaw in the design. Like, obviously, I get you want it to be able to stay down for the reveal aspect for like kids who might be going along with it or like collectors who might be having fun with it. But I feel like once it's up, there should be a way to like turn it and lock it in place so that you can display it like this if you want to. Whereas the reality is it's impossible to display any way other than this unless you want there to just constantly be water inside of this, which feels not like a great idea. And I just don't love that. And then the other thing is like, if you're not going to let me lock it in place, I would like for this to be removable. I get it for the gimmick. I do understand. Like, I know what they're going for, but it's preventing me from displaying it in this fun, pretty way, but also preventing me from like really using the cauldron in another way, because you can sort of like just see the purple poking out over the top and then you look inside and I wish that I could take it out completely so that I could just have the empty cauldron to do what I wish with. That was kind of a weird way to word that, but I hope you know what I'm saying. I was just a little bummed about that one. The sculpting of the cauldron, though, again, amazing. We all know Mattel has phenomenal sculptors on their team, like just absolutely incredible artists working for them. The floral detail on the top, and then hers is in a green color. I like how all along the side it's kind of like battered, as though the metal has been like hammered out and it's like a little bit uneven. I just think that's really, it's a very nice detail to get to have. I don't know why I keep spinning it as though it's like different on both sides. But yeah, I like the concept and I like that we got a cauldron. I just wish we had done something a little bit different with it. And then the necklace that came inside is sort of a turquoisey color, and it is, of course, floral. I kind of hate the necklace. I'm just gonna go ahead and gather all three up for you to go ahead and take a look at here. The one in the middle is Claire's, and then on the far right we have Ray's. And like, I don't think that the sculpting is bad. That's going to be a theme this video, apparently. I like the silhouettes of them, I guess. Like the moon for Claire is really cute, and then the sun and these extra little dangly bits for Ray is like really precious. I like them all in theory, but they're just giving Barbie. I don't know, something about the like no painted detail, one color plastic. It just, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels cheap in a way that is like very specific to Barbie. I think what it might be is that it's like colored plastic, which we already see in other elements. We've got just one color plastic for her little like hip satchel. We've got one color plastic for this earring. But I think maybe the difference to me, and like we see in G3 all the time, one color is plastic, but it feels like it ties into the color scheme at least. Not always the most successfully. I'm not going to claim that like Mattel's never done wrong in that way. But I feel like usually it makes a little bit more sense. This just feels, I don't know, it kind of just feels like they just threw a color on there. Like it's connected. The turquoise doesn't entirely not match what she's got going on. It just feels very distinctly like an extra piece that's like, oh, you can shove this on her if you want her to have a necklace. But it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be on her. I don't know how else to explain that. I hope y'all understand the vibe that I'm like trying to explain here, but they just feel like pieces of jewelry from like a shitty Barbie fashion pack. And it's really, really disappointing because we went through all of this rigmarole in theory to get it. You've made this cauldron like function not how I want it to function for a play cauldron for the sake of this necklace. And then it's like, kind of ugly? No. Girl, I was hyping y'all up. Come on. But now that the accessories are out of the way for now, for this character at least, we can go ahead and look at Willow more properly. I do have to say, I watched Mini Stitch's review of these dolls, and she also got Willow. And as soon as I saw her on camera, I had this thought, and then Mini Stitches immediately was like, just voiced the exact same thought, which I thought was really, really funny. But she was talking about how this hair blend in Saran, mind you, is like perfect for Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. Like the actual blend that they gave her was one, poly, and two, like a little bit too dark. This is perfect. It was right there. It was right there sitting in the factory, Mattel. Come on. But I do think that it is a really, really nice blend. If you look closely, you can see that it is a few different colors of purple, but it's like so well blended together that from far away, it sort of just looks like one. I think it's nice. It gives like dimension without it being like streaks necessarily. Not that there's anything wrong with streaks, but just in this case, I feel like they were going for something different and they executed it very well. Um, Guys, is this a safe space to say I'm going to really hate Saran? Probably not. I know that there's like a lot of debate amongst people's favorite hair fibers, and obviously, if you love Saran, like it's fine. It's really not serious, but just it looks like she's trying to have some sort of curl to her hair, but it's just a frizzy mess. And I just feel like Saran kind of always looks like this out of the box. It always feels really frizzy to me. And if there's a curl, it is never, never right, at least on the dolls that I've gotten. And then when you wash it, it has like this heinous texture. Like I don't like Saran. I obviously like it much more than Polly because even though I don't like handling Saran, in the sense that I just feel like it's a lot of work and unnecessary like effort compared to nylon for me personally. It's not going to rot out of the head like poly, and it is also at least soft, unlike poly. So like, I'm not being like Saran's the worst hair fiber. I just think I'm a nylon girly. That's it. The more I collect and the more I learn about hair fibers and stuff, the more I'm a nylon fan. That's completely irrelevant, but I just had to get that out there. Rooting wise, she looks good. I feel like we're thick. Ignore all of the tea ties. There's 4 of them. Why did we need 4 tea ties? I don't know. Her face though, no complaints. Not a single one. This doll is so stupidly gorgeous to me. It's not even funny. Like I love a good floral naturey motif. I'm very, very into that. And I just think it's been so well executed for her with the flowers mixed in with the freckles, the flower catchlight in her eye, the white highlights on some of her lashes are absolutely gorgeous. I also really like that she has super colorful makeup. You know, on the eye, she has pink on top and then purple and green on the bottom, and then she has a two-tone purple lip. And I think it's really, really fun to like see the naturey theme with such bright, vibrant tones. Because I do think sometimes it can be really easy to lean into like either floral tones, like bright pinks and like whites and yellows and that sort of thing, or go with like browns and more muted colors, like green, but more muted green. I think there's just something really, really fun to me about seeing this doll who has like an alternative aesthetic, but is still also so floral girly pop. Like it's just I adore her. That's all. I think she's the cutest thing ever. So she does have mismatched earrings. On this side, we have a butterfly sculpted and then some like loose insect wings dangling, quote unquote, down. And then on this side is just a butterfly for the earring, both in a pale, really pretty green, kind of similar to her makeup and her eyes, actually. She does have her hearing aid on this side in a light purple color, and it is a separate piece from the earring. I had been like speculating about that when we first saw like images of these at Toy Fair. I was thinking, oh, maybe they're the same piece, but they are 2 separate pieces. Like you can just, well, if your hands work, you can pull out the earring and leave on the hearing aid. Or, you know what, if she's like tired of people, doesn't want to hear anyone anymore that day and she just still wants to have her cute earrings in, then she can do that and pop off the hearing aid, which I think is, you know, like funny to think about. And I like that there's the versatility there. I like that we're getting the representation and there's just multiple functionalities with that. And then her beautiful, beautiful shirt. There we go. I wanted her to like spread both arms so we could see all of the glorious sleeves. Y'all know I'm so into dramatic sleeves, and Wow, they really did it here. The fabric is laying a little bit strangely when she's like T-posing like this because, you know, doll scale, it's not heavy enough, but I like that it feels like it lays pretty well when she has her hands more down. I don't know. I feel like it is hard to get a bell sleeve like this to not be a little bit crazy on a doll scale just because scales and fabrics, it's hard to accomplish like the weight that a real bell sleeve has on a real person on a doll scale, but I feel like these behave pretty well and I'm really happy about it. She does have ribbon at the top of her sort of off the shoulder shirt, and then the same pattern is throughout the sleeves and the bodice, except on the bodice it's like overlaid with something so that it's, you know, opaque so she's not flashing everybody. And then it's sheer along the sleeves, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. The little purple flowers throughout. I just love her. Then, as I referenced earlier, we have her sort of like hip bag situation here, which is interesting because she has a purse and also this like hip pouch, but maybe she's just super organized, or maybe she needs to carry so many things. It is in the exact same purple plastic there, so I kind of like that it matches. It's like almost a set. It does have like a peg closure in the back there, and it's just, you know, got this little satchel with some vines coming out of it. Painted detail would have been nice for sure, but I think the sculpting again is extremely cute. And then we get to these pants, which visually, I understand 1,002 comparisons have been made to like, you know, really cheesy like Tumblr stuff. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, listen, I don't care. I think my thing, I suppose, is that every fashion silhouette piece style at some point has been cheesy because that's just like how trends work, right? Like something that is on trend one moment is going to be off trend and out of date and cheesy the next. So, like, yeah, okay, I see what you mean, but everything is going to be cheesy at one point, and these are cheesy in the way that makes me happy. And so it's fine for me. I love the holographic patterns all along the front, nothing on the back, but all along the front with different like sparkles and plants and butterflies. It's just so, so beautiful. However, did you hear that? Did you hear that? These are made out of a fucking windbreaker fabric. Mattel, do you hate me personally? Like, I genuinely, fully had plans to rebuy this doll so that I could have a second pair of pants. Granted, I probably would have waited for a sale, but I fully was like, I'm going to have to get a duplicate of her because I have to have these pants to use in restyles because I obviously want her to get to keep them on, but I want another pair to put on other dolls because I loved these pants in like stock photos and everything so much. Like they're so up my alley. Again, I don't, you know, care if you think they're ugly. For me, they're perfect. And I was fully prepared to give Mattel double my money or, you know, slightly less than double if I waited for a sale like a smart person. Buy a whole another doll so that I could have another pair of these pants. And I would have like kept the shirt and the earrings and I probably would have like redressed her. It's not like everything else would have gone to waste. But now I don't think I'm going to be doing that. So Mattel, I know it doesn't really matter, but you did in fact just lose like 20 of my dollars because you chose to use a stupid nylon fabric for these gorgeous pants. Like they're so pretty. They're so pretty to me. But they just feel wrong. I'm upset about that one. Anyway, moving on to the shoes. These are also unpainted. They are the same purple as her. Oh, no, they're not. So we have three purples. Interesting. Because we have the purple of the hearing aid, the purple of the pouch, and then this is like in between those two. I thought it was the same as the hearing aid, but no. The sculpting on these are phenomenal. Again, just hats off to the Mattel sculptors. Y'all killed this. The petals forming the actual like straps and like cradling her ankle are incredible. The rose detailing, the huge like platform wedge. I just do in fact love those, which is, it's kind of a shame that you can't see them with her pants fully like unfurled and all that jazz. But it's nice to have like a cute little secret. It's like, oh, I'm secretly wearing amazing shoes. But I do need to put her hat on right quick so that I can show you how it looks. And I do think that these are really, really cute. They don't stay on quite as well as I had like anticipated. Okay, that's not so bad. Where it's kind of forming like a halo for her head. That's how I prefer witch hats to look. I think that's just absolutely perfect. And I really do like the completed like vibe, right? With the hat on and everything. She's ready to go. Unfortunately, where she is going is timeout because it's no longer her turn. Now we have to look at Claire de Luna's accessories. So we did already go over the necklace. We're not going to talk about that one again, but here is her potion bottle. Again, same sculpt, but personally, I still think it is cute. And then her book is a slightly different sculpt. The spines are different, and so are the pages. She has like locks on her pages. I don't know if either Layla or Karina comes with this style of book, but either way, it is recolored. Hers is black, and it does say fortunes on the front with the moon like logo on there. So obviously they're all themed to the type of magic that each character does. Her cauldron is also a beautiful blue color with like the moon and stars all across the front. And then her moon has like a tarot card behind it that again, it's hard to show off because I'm trying to keep it upright in a really, really pretty iridescent white material that like, again, I wish I could display it that way, but we're not going to rant. It's okay. Her special accessory is this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous crystal ball. The sculpting on the stand, I think, is really excellent. And then the plastic for the ball is like faintly transparent and also faintly sparkling, which I don't think is showing great on camera, but it's there. Trust me, it's there. Big fan of this piece. I just think it's quite cute. Her bag, interestingly enough, does have some detail on there, unlike Willow's. So we have like this printed portion on the front where the moon has like a full face and some shading. We have the star and everything. That's absolutely gorgeous. We have sculpted like dangles with little fake beads all along. The back is also, I actually fully was like, oh, ready to say that the back doesn't have the printing. The back does have the printing, and that is crazy. I think there's like a little bit of packaging stuck to mine. So just ignore that. That's a me problem. I was not expecting that. I do think that Claire is meant to be like sort of the main character of Moonspell, so it makes sense that she would get a little bit more detail, I suppose. It's very nice. And then her bag also does have a slot, so technically speaking it opens, although the plastic is very firm. Like I don't really know that it's a good idea to put anything in there because I feel like it could easily get stuck, but technically it opens. And then she has a pair of sunglasses. These feel to me very, very, very similar to a pair that Claudine has gotten before, if not identical. Like, am I crazy for saying that? Hold on, I'm going to see if I can go find them. Okay, I was not crazy. They have done something very similar, but it is different. On the left, Claudine glasses. On the right, Claire. So like it was just the moons and the round shape that got me. They're definitely different, but I don't know, kind of interesting that these would definitely be thematic for a Claudine if you wanted to use them. Then we have her cane that she comes with. It is black towards the handle and sort of like a purpley color along the rest of the cane. It does have some sculpted detail right at the top underneath the black portion, which I think is interesting. Like it's nice and detailed, and like I'm sure that it took a lot of skill to do that. Part of me is like, it's so almost unnoticeable that I kind of wish we just didn't bother, because I feel like every little bit that takes up budget has to be thought about, you know? And for me personally, I feel like this detailing that I literally don't even know if you can see on camera because it's so minute. Personally, I'm like, maybe we could have gotten one piece of painted detail on this if we had like sacrificed this. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I do love that she has the cane though. Obviously, being blind, like it's nice that we have physical representations of like her mobility aid that she might use. And then her hat we already sort of looked at when I was critiquing the placement of this moon, but to look at it, you know, more kindly, we have stars all along the top sculpted in, which I think are really, really gorgeous. And then presumably the Big Dipper on here. It's one of the dippers, right? But like, I don't think it would be the Little Dipper. I feel like it would be the Big Dipper. Maybe I'm wrong entirely and it's not even the Dipper. That'd be really funny. I clearly don't know my constellations, but I think it's really cute that we got a constellation on there. And then we have even more underneath the brim of her hat, which this is just so well done. So, so, so pretty for her. But the most pretty thing of all is, of course, going to be the doll herself. So let's go ahead and take a look at her. Really quick, she has a beautiful hair blend. It's black and this dark blue. So gorgeous. And her rooting also looks really, really good. But I'm just so entranced by this particular hair blend. It's so, so just full of dimension and so gorgeous and colorful without being colorful. I don't know. I'm obsessed. But her face. Guys, she is so, so just unfairly pretty. She's just gorgeous. The detail in her makeup, like there's so many layers to it. She does, of course, have two different eyes. This one, I believe, is meant to be like a crystal eye or something like that, just based off of like the painted refractions in there. Oh my gosh, they're both so, so beautiful. But back to makeup. Sorry, I got distracted. There's like a little moon down by her cheek on this side, and then there's star detailing or like shimmer detailing and so many colors. It's just phenomenal. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. And she does have a really pretty ombre to her lip that's actually in three colors. So her top lip has like a darker color closer to where like her lip line is, and then as it goes inwards it goes to more of a pink, and then on the bottom the pink continues but then goes to a lighter purple than she has on her top lip, which I think is really cool to get to see a three color gradient on this doll. Like, I don't know. I think the makeup is absolutely gorgeous. She does have a little like tank top in this sort of satiny material. I don't know if it's the way that mine in particular is cut or what's going on, but mine does feel kind of frumpy. I don't know. I don't know. I just, something about like how the darts are done, plus like the neckline being so high up, it feels like. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for saying that? But I feel like mine's sitting like way up here. And if it were down there, that would be better. I don't know. I'm just not as big a fan in person as I thought I was going to be. She does have this incredible like duster style cardigan though, with the flared sleeves, and there is a bit of cinching kind of like not at the waist, but maybe like sort of at the rib cage where it's like sewn together and then it billows out and it does go to the ground. This is such a gorgeous piece. The holographic like moons and stars all over. Again, incredible. However, tell me why, Mattel. Tell me why. On the same doll, the hem of the bottom of the duster is properly hemmed and her sleeves are just loose and fraying. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for an answer. And Ray Lumina has a similar fabric. Hers is like serged at the end. So, I would like to know the answer. I would like to understand why my doll is ready to fray at any second and is, in fact, look at that. Can you see it? I feel like my camera is like not on my side today. Like there's already loose threads that I feel like she's starting to fray a little bit. That aggravated me. She does have, oh, I forgot the earrings. So sorry about that. Matching earrings, unlike Willow. Crescent moons and then little like dangles that have stars on them. Very, very cutie. Her belt is also silver and it has multiple quote unquote chains that all connect to the same peg in the back. And we've got some like dangling charms and also some little dangling tarot cards, which I think is really fun. Her skirt is also full of tarot cards and also holographic. I love that. I think that's so fun. Y'all already know. Give me glitter, give me shimmer, give me shine, and I love it. So of course I love this. It is sort of an asymmetrical skirt, but it's like, I don't know. I feel so bad complaining so much. I literally in the intro was like, we're going to be positive and happy and like, this is going to be good and I don't want to make any comparisons. I'm not making comparisons because, again, I feel like that is stealing my joy actively. But Mattel themselves is also fucking stealing my joy because this is supposed to be like a very clearly asymmetrical skirt. You can tell because there's ruching on one side. Like you can see kind of the wrinkling there. Maybe you can't. The holographic is making this really hard for my camera to pick this shit up. But it's like wrinkled and ruched so that it should be asymmetrical. And in the stock photos, it looks asymmetrical. But the way that mine is laying is like straight across. And personally, I think it looks a lot cuter when it's asymmetrical. So I'm going to have to figure something out with that. And then the other thing that is bothering me about this, you know what? There's the asymmetry. It's in the back. It's still not even that extreme, but at least it's there a little bit. God. Anyway, to try to do like a moment of positivity, at least the print goes all the way around to the back. At least it goes around to the back. However, and I am sorry because I feel like this is just kind of a weird thing to have to do, to be like, let me just spread this doll's legs on camera. This is critique. This is not weird. You might see in there that something is missing that I would like to have been there, and that is a like crotch strap or a gusset to keep the skirt from riding up, because you might notice that I'm fighting to keep it where it belongs because there's no gusset to keep it in place. Hello? What is going on here? Like, I'm so confused. And then she has some boots. There is some sculpted detail, like kind of at the midpoint there, which is nice. And then she does have painted like soles to her shoes and heels to her shoes. And she does have little moon object heels with the face, which is very cutie patootie. I do indeed like that a lot. I kind of feel like the color comes out of nowhere. It's on her cane. But other than that, like the light lilac is sort of random. But otherwise, very nice shoes. I just am disappointed. Hold on, let me put on her hat. I'm just disappointed with like the quality, you know? Like, again, I'm not doing the comparison thing, but I expected at least standard Mattel quality, you know? And it's not that it's standard for them to hem their shit, but I feel like if you're going to hem part of a garment, you hem the other part. What do you mean? And it is relatively standard for them to put in gussets. It isn't with every release, but I've mostly noticed, at least with like my Monster High G3 dolls, that the dolls that don't get the gussets typically are in like Skulltimate Secrets or a budget line. And Skulltimate Secrets, they're cutting down the budget for each individual piece because they're trying to give you multiple pieces. Plus, there's that huge plastic locker. This is a deluxe line. Deluxe. This is a deluxe line. Where is my gusset to keep the skirt on? What are we talking about? At least the hat looks really pretty though. Sorry. I'm so sad that like this has had to be more negative than I wanted it to be. There she is with her glasses. I'm just, why? But of course, that does bring us to Ray. Lumina, oops, sorry, girly. You are like really giving me balance troubles today. We'll just kind of delicately place the hat on there. It's definitely not going to stay on when I turn her back around, but that's fine. So to start off with, again, we already went over the necklace, sort of. Ray's potion bottle is this gorgeous, gorgeous pink. I don't know, something about the transparency and this exact color are really, really working for me. I think that is so fun. Her potion book, like I said, does have the same sculpt as Willow's, but it says Sun Magic, or Book of Sun Magic. I apologize. I think this one's really pretty. I don't know. They're all nice. Like, I like the printing on all the books, but that one is quite cute to me. Her cauldron has, of course, the sun on it. There is still the moon, but it's like mostly the sun in a beautiful red color that is literally nowhere else on that doll. Like, that was my number one critique upon like seeing her stock images for the first time. We'll get into it when we get to the actual doll, and a lot of other people's critique as well. It's just that the color scheme is sort of all over the place. Like, this red is a really, really nice color, and I kind of wish we got more of it. And then we have the moon with the sun for her like cauldron item, and this beautiful, beautiful yellow, like slightly glimmery plastic. Her special witch accessory is this candle emitting like this radiant light. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm just obsessed. The candle holder is black, and then we have the purple candle, and then like the pink flames. It's just stunning. I don't know. Their little special accessories just get me. I think it's really cute that they have so much personality. Her bag is unpainted. We have the sun here. It's like a satchel style with some plastic tassels. Nothing too crazy, but definitely quite cute. And then I'm just trying to make sure like I didn't forget anything. I think the only other thing is her hat. As we established, she does have no moon, so there's that. And then she does have sun rays kind of radiating out from the middle of the hat. This is a significantly, like this is solid. I'll try to like tap them. So that was Ray's, and that was Willow's. This is a much, like, it's still not like crazy bendy, obviously, but this is a much softer plastic than Ray's is. Ray's is like a full hard plastic, which is quite interesting. It is also different on the inside. It has a little like comb here that supposedly is supposed to help like insert it into her hair and have it like stay in her hair. So we are going to be trying that out. The printing on the bottom is sun rays. I'm a little bummed about the color though. Like the contrast is just like, again, a green and like a light blue. There's contrast there. Even more so, dark blue and white. There's a contrast there. I kind of just wish you could actually see the sunbeams. Like I'm going to have to paint over this. And that does aggravate the hell out of me because it's just a lot of work that I feel like I shouldn't have to be doing. Like why, whatever. It's just breathe. We'll try that on in a moment. As you can see from the back of her head, I do have like some hair that is cut. I do think that might have been my fault. I'm just chopping off the couple of extra little ugly bits now that I've acknowledged them. I do think that was probably my fault though, because she was packaged most graciously with a hairnet to sort of keep these curls in place and help to protect them. However, I think Mattel maybe doesn't understand the function of a hairnet, because in my mind, a hairnet for a doll should be something that is present in the box that you can leave on if you want, but that like is easy to take off, because otherwise what is the point of protecting the hair? And apparently I'm wrong. Apparently that's crazy, because the experts at Mattel have decided that actually the proper use of a hairnet is to have it T-tied into the sides of her head so that the hairnet gets caught on the T-ties. Whatever. They did that with Fearbook Venus too, and I complained about it then, and apparently they haven't changed their minds. So obviously I'm the crazy one. With that being said, I love her curls. I love that she has this beautiful curly texture. It's so soft and so bouncy. It's so beautiful. Like I know I was complaining. I know. And I know that I did, in fact, accidentally cut a tiny baby bit of her hair off because I was trying to get those stupid T-ties off, but she's not lacking. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it so much. Like, I don't think that she's my favorite doll out of the three. Aforementioned color scheme problems are really holding her back. But hair-wise, hands down my favorite. I think the style is so beautiful. It's sort of pulled back on top. You can see she has a middle part and it's like pulled on both sides. The silhouette is so pretty. I like how soft it is. I like the volume. I love me a doll with curls. I think they're so, so pretty. And the color too is like this gorgeous, like slightly salmony pink. I'm obsessed. And her face. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Unreal. She does have some edges here that are brown eyebrows, brown eyes, which I talked about the, let's just say, complicated relationship with dolls that have deeper skin tones and the eye colors that they are given in my Mirror Me video, and caught a surprising amount of backlash for that one. Yeah, whatever, but she's a beautiful brown doll with beautiful brown eyes, and I think that's notable and cute. And her eye makeup is also gorgeous. It's like less dramatic. She has the faintest little orange freckles, and it's really, really cool that she has black eyelashes, but then like orange eyelashes as well, sort of like how Willow had the white accent. She has orange, and I think that's really fun for like her theming and everything. And then of course this like berry tone lip, which is absolutely gorgeous. Her earrings, I think the sculpt is really pretty. It looks like they are sort of like mimicking like a chandelier earring with a big fat sun charm, and it is beautiful sculpting. I've said 1,000 times this video. However, why are they purple? Not even this purple. Why are they like a periwinkle? What? Why? That's what I was talking about with the color scheme. I have questions about this purple as well, although it has grown on me since we first saw these dolls get revealed. However, yeah, that light purple color, that hasn't grown on me. That's literally nowhere else in the design. It doesn't make sense for her design as a sun witch. Like, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we making these decisions? Her shirt, though, I think is really, really cute. I love the high neck. I think that's super fun. We have this gold foiling to be like kind of matching the others in the line, because I think all of them have some form of holographic and a lot of it is silver. But of course, being the Sun Witch, the gold kind of makes more sense for her. I think it's very, very pretty. Unfortunately, this piece here, the, again, like deep purple, it has some nice stitching on it, but it is fully sewn to the undershirt, which is a huge bummer, because if it was a separate piece, I was going to replace it with something else and make her like have a bit more of a brighter sun sort of color scheme. Now she's going to have to be sort of like sunset, because I think she is giving sunset a little bit with the yellows and the light pink and then having the darker purple. I feel like we're kind of getting a sunset sunrise vibe. So that's why she's grown on me, because I can sort of accept that. I still would have liked to have been able to like paint her accessories a different color and replace this top to make it more of a middle of the day orange yellow sun witch. However, I'm not deconstructing this. I'm not ripping that apart. It is what it is. I can accept it. She has a like very yellowy gold belt with a bunch of dangling, again, faux chains, and then sun and moon motif kind of front and center here. And she has a huge maxi skirt, even with this little like extra detail of paneling in the middle. And I'm obsessed with this. First of all, I think the colors are amazing. It's this beautiful light pink, and we have this super, super light yellow to be like suns and sparkles all over. The black thread is a nice contrast and helps tie in the mesh of her shirt. I think this is an incredible piece. And the fact that it is a maxi skirt, thank God. I love maxi skirts. I love maxi dresses. I think they're really pretty. Do I think they should be on every doll ever? No, obviously not. But we never get shit like this. It's always shorts and it's always teeny little mini skirts. And those are still really, really cute. I think the reason that it bothers me is not because I'm like, ew, mini skirts are ugly, maxi skirts are pretty. I do like maxi skirts, but I think the reason it bothers me is because I know that it's not for a design reason. It's just because Mattel doesn't want to pay for fabric. So it's just in the back of my mind all the time when I see these dolls and they're always in short skirts. Like, I love a good short skirt, but I want it to be a short skirt because that is what looks best on the doll, not because y'all are fucking cheap. So I really love to get to see this, see the fabric usage. Like, she gets to have a nice long skirt, and I love how it hits with the boots. I think there's something just so fashionable about a tall, it's not even that tall. Like, it's like a calf boot, an ankle boot, basically. But it's tall enough to where you don't see skin between the skirt and the boot. And I think there's something just so chic and so fashionable about that. I am, in fact, obsessed. While we're here, we can go ahead and discuss the boot sculpt. It's, I would say, pretty plain for the most part, except on the heels. She does have the sun, which is super, super well done. But the rest is like definitely kind of just, I guess there's the sun on the toe as well. It's just harder to see for me. I don't even know if that's going to show up on camera. It's like so faintly sculpted. They're kind of like just combat boots in my head. I love combat boots, so it's fine. But I will say that. Going back to the skirt though, she also doesn't have a gusset. Sure, whatever. I don't even know anymore. Now, moment of truth. I'm going to see if I can get this hat on her. Yeah, actually, that works so well. I'm kind of pissed the other dolls don't have that. That's so much easier. The comb is in the front. You can't see it. I just slid it in. She's good. She's vibing. She's perfect. I love her. But you can really see how the skirt has ridden up. Oof. It's supposed to sit down here. I'm going to have to add a gusset in myself, which is super annoying, but whatever. Okay. So careful with the hat. We have to turn all the girlies around for final thoughts. Oh man, we lost that one. Okay, that's fine. Can't win them all. So, final thoughts, at least on the 3 Moonspell dolls that I have. I feel like that's a pretty good, representation of what I can expect from the other 2 when I eventually get them. I do still want to get them. I'm wavering on whether I would like to wait for a sale. I feel like I'm kind of leaning more towards a sale now because my overall thoughts are that I think the designs are phenomenal. Again, I get that they're not for every person, and that's fine, but they are right up my alley and I really, really enjoy them. And I also think that this line has showcased a bunch of pieces that like Mattel is hesitant to give us. I just ranted about Ray's skirt, but like they also don't give us pants that often. And even Claire's like duster situation, that's a very, very long cardigan that we really don't see that often from Mattel. And so I do love certain aspects like that. However, just in general across the board, the quality is not, in my mind, really living up even to other Mattel lines. Like this is a G3 spin-off line, right? The bodies are like G3 bodies and all of that jazz. They're meant to go along with them. And I just don't feel like the quality is comparable to G3. I feel like on a G3 doll, that would have been a separate top for Ray. Like that would have been 2 layers, at least on a deluxe line. Obviously, like they make budget lines that have like sewn together tops. Like I get that. But for a deluxe line, like Scary Sweet Birthday, no, that never would have happened with Scary Sweet Birthday. And just the level of unpainted detail, I think, is really, really intense. I mean, for most of these dolls, there is no painted detail outside of the hats and then their little booklets. Claire's the only one who got anything beyond that. Whereas, again, on a typical deluxe G3 line, you're going to have maybe not as much painted detail as a lot of people would like, but like there's going to be at least some detail. You know what I'm saying? Like it just feels like even within the same house, they aren't quite living up to what I was hoping, because I didn't think that these were going to be like, oh my God, Mattel has finally gotten it together and made the most high quality dolls of all time that rival even the most expensive BJDs. Like in no universe was I expecting that, but I did expect these to be, again, comparable to the literal line that they are a spinoff from. And the fact that they don't quite hit that level, it is really disappointing to me. Stuff like specifically the gussets missing, the windbreaker fabric, and the unhemmed sleeves of the duster when the bottom is hemmed. Like stuff like that just feels so... Sorry, my cat is big yelling while I'm sitting here trying to collect my thoughts. I feel like I could accept like these 2 shirts not actually being 2 shirts. I even feel like I could accept the very, very, very limited painted detailing if the pieces that we did get were a little bit nicer. But it just, I don't know, it just feels like a lot. And I don't know, maybe Mattel bit off a little bit more than they could chew with these, with like so many accessories, and they're trying to do a gimmick with it and all this shit. Like I could have done without all of the plastic inside this cauldron. I could have done with this just being an empty cauldron for imagination play. That's what kids need more of anyway. I could have done without these little necklaces. I know it's not even focusing and it doesn't matter because like they're not cute. And I feel like if we had done that, that already would have, saved a good chunk of money that could have been put into something else with these dolls. So yeah, unfortunately, I have egg on my face because I definitely started this video being like, no guys, we're going to be positive today because this is going to be incredible. And as long as you aren't comparing to Mirror Me, these are really fun dolls. And instead it just wasn't quite what I wanted. I still am really, really happy to have these in my collection. I still do love these designs and therefore I love these dolls. My expectations were just like a tiny bit too high, like I said. So I definitely don't hate these. I definitely don't hate Moonspell, and I still want the other 2 dolls. I just am going to have to do a little bit more work fixing them up than I sort of initially thought was going to be in the cards, which is a tad bit frustrating. To conclude the video, let's go ahead and do a little roundup on who is my favorite. And this is crazy of me, actually. I think I've done like a full switch up though. I think Ray is my favorite now. I love like light colors like that. I always say on the channel, I'm so annoying about it. I'm sorry, but orange is my favorite color. Yellow is my second. Something about the particular shade of pink that they've chosen for her. It's definitely not orange, but like it's scratching a similar itch in my brain. I can't really explain that one. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I really love her hair. I think her face too. I don't even think I said this when I was looking at her face, but her face in the stock photos is already pretty to me. She looks 10 times better in person. Like her screening in person is so much prettier than in the stock photos. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. So I think that's really helping. I don't know. She just has grown on me a lot through the course of unboxing this. So I think Ray is my favorite. Then I think it's Willow because the face is amazing. Not to say that Claire's face isn't amazing. I feel so mean saying that. The pants are a terrible fabric, but they're a beautiful design. And I think Claire is just last because I feel as though she had the most issues with her outfit. And I think that sort of dampened my thoughts on her. If we're going purely from an aesthetic standpoint, like I like all of them. I don't know what to tell you. I bought all 3 of them and I'm happy about all of them, despite my many complaints. But I think just the top feels like it's not sitting quite right. The skirt is not asymmetrical the way it's supposed to be. And that stupid unhemmed sleeve and the lack of a gusset. So I think because her clothes, to me, just feel the least well executed, I think that sort of tempered my thoughts on her. So unexpectedly, final ranking goes Ray, Willow, Claire. However, again, I feel the need to point out, I still really like all of these. I'm still happy to have them. And they're still going to look good on my shelf once I sort of zhuzh them up and make them what I want them to be. But that is finally everything that I needed to say about Moonspell Magic. Please share all of your thoughts in the comments down below. How are you feeling about these and the quality? Did you get any? Are you still waiting? All of the questions. I need all of the answers, so please feel free to sound off. But that's going to be it for me for today, guys. I do hope you were able to enjoy. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, your night, or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.